Hello, I'm Veronica Wettergreen, and welcome back to another episode of Lex2be. To start this week's episode, a fun fact. Did you know that before West Columbia was called West Columbia, it was actually called Brooklyn? It was given the name in 1894 due to many clear water brooks around the area. The town was then designated New Brooklyn by the United States Postal Services because there was already a town named Brooklyn at the time. In 1934, the charter was then renamed to West Columbia. This is why BC is named Brooklyn-Cayce, as it served residents of both Brooklyn and Cayce. Now on to the rest of this week's episode.
Hello everyone, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Sydney, and we are glad to be back with you this week.
This week's news starts off with two BC students, Davis Hoffman and Amanda Lamb, who were named semifinalists in the 67th Annual National Merit Scholarship Program. Congratulations to these two seniors.
We also want to say congratulations to Airport's September Teacher of the Month, Miss White. Next Monday, September 27th, Airport and BC's Lady Volleyball team will be facing off at Airport. The JV game starts at 5 and the varsity starts right after. Go out and support your team.
Last week, all students at Cayce Elementary were able to take home their own personal copy of Just a Chicken by Preston Thorne and Langston Moore, both of which are former Gamecock football players. DeKirion Joyner, a current USC football player, signed an NIL deal with Thorne and Moore to promote their book. Thank you for the gift for our Cayce Griffins.
Busby students have been hard at work in the garden. The students have been growing sweet potatoes and hope to harvest over 50 pounds of potatoes before Thanksgiving. How cool is that, Dylan?
Pretty rad. Last Friday, 5th grade students at Riverbank Elementary held a virtual author visit with Kelly Yang, the award-winning and best-selling author of Front Desk. Yang won the 2019 Asian Pacific American Award for Literature and 2018 Parents' Choice Gold Medal for Fiction. What an amazing opportunity for our Sea Turtles.
BC's varsity football team had a hard-fought battle against 5A Chapin last Friday night. After 4 hard quarters, the Bearcats fell to Eagles 24-41. Way to go Bearcats on a tough fight.
Airport varsity football team took a win against 3A Swansea. The Eagles defeated the Tigers with a score of 17-14. Congratulations to the Eagles.
Hello everyone, it's Sydney, and I'm interjecting with a quick update on the rivalry football game last night. Last night, Airport and BC faced off at Airport, and the Bearcats won 35-0. This was the 80th time the Eagles and the Bearcats have faced off in district's history. What a cool thing. Congratulations, Bearcats.
Brooklyn-Cayce seniors, there will be a senior class meeting with Johnston's on October 7th at 10 a.m. in the auditorium. The graduation order deadline is October 15th. The only things that you are required to purchase are your cap, gown, and diploma cover. That is all for this week's news, and we can't wait to see you here next week.
I'm Duncan Scarborough.
And I'm Jonathan Gonzalez.
Welcome to the first Lex2be COVID-19 update. The district-wide mask mandate is still in effect and will continue until October 31st. Let's see if it has had any effect on the number of cases.
As of Wednesday, September 22nd, there are 70 positive cases and 246 quarantined students and staff throughout the district.
The school with the highest number of cases is Airport High School with 12 positive students and 38 quarantined students.
Saluda River has the lowest number of cases with 0 positive students and only 3 quarantined students.
This week's COVID safety tip is to sanitize. It doesn't hurt to carry a personal bottle of hand sanitizer or use someone else's when it's available.
I'm Jonathan Gonzalez.
And I'm Duncan Scarborough.
This has been the Lex2be COVID-19 update.
Hi, I'm Rashardia Harley with Lex2be News, and I'm here with Mr. Holland and Mr. Nix to give more insight about the engineering program here at the Innovation Center. So what is engineering and what are some of the different branches?
You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so engineering simply is the use of math and science to solve problems.
And the different branches that we teach here, or the different disciplines, we have introduction to engineering, we have principles of engineering, aerospace, civil engineering, and digital engineering.
I understand that engineering is a good paying job. So what does it take to become an engineer?
I feel it. What does it take? All right, well, to give you an idea, in South Carolina, the average student at Carolina or Clemson has between 1,100, 1,150, and 1,200 to enter into engineering school, just to be accepted, okay? It's very heavy into math and calculus.
What does it take? Again, the perseverance is, I think, primary, a willingness to learn. I tell a lot of folks that you don't necessarily have to be really good at math because it's what I call applied math.
Why do you think that less women are in the engineering field?
That's a great question.
I'm going to answer that in a different way. It's more of a social stigma.
What are some big misconceptions people have about engineering?
Big misconceptions about engineering. Oh, that it's only geeks that are doing it. I think there's a misconception that you got to be this incredible brainiac. I mean, I'm teaching it, and I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Well, another common misconception might be that it's a one-man job or a one-woman job. I mean, there are teams. You got to be able to work together with others. It's a big brain trust.
What is your favorite thing about teaching engineering to kids?
My favorite thing is the kids. I mean, I love it when the light bulb turns on.
There's a lot of things about engineering, building stuff, but also tearing stuff up.
When reading the course catalog, your classes have PLTW. What does it stand for?
PLTW stands for Project Lead the Way.
Are students able to pursue a 2-year degree in engineering?
That's a very good question, and the answer is yes. Now, it's not a full engineering degree position, but it's called an associate in engineering. So
do you have a lot of women sign up for your classes?
Not enough. We need more women.
Well,
we want you.
So right.
Lastly, do you have any advice for future engineers or people who want to take your class?
Advice for people that want to be future engineers or take the class? Do well in math, because they are related. Be patient. Come in open-minded, be creative, and be willing to work.
And I say, find out what you like doing and do what you like.
Thank you for taking the time to answer some of my questions about the engineering program. This has been Rashardia Harley with Lex2be News.
My name is Erin Honeycutt with Lex2be, and today we'll be interviewing students who are recently quarantined or recently out on virtual learning about their personal experiences. Avery White, who has recently been doing virtual learning. Avery, you were working from home. How did that go for you?
It went okay for the most part, but for some of it, it was really hard because the teachers were piling work on.
What would you say was the hardest part about quarantine?
Not being able to participate in hands-on classes like theater or health science.
Did you get work done while you were out of school, or did you use it more as a mini vacation?
I did get some work done, but I also used it as a mini vacation.
Do you prefer being virtual or do you prefer being in person?
I prefer being in person so that I can participate in in-person classes.
What was the best thing about your quarantine experience?
Having a break from all the drama and the things that occur at school.
During your time out of school, what was your biggest stressor?
A lot of work that I had a few assignments that had built up and I hadn't turned them in yet, so that was probably the biggest stressor.
What do you think that teachers and other Lex2 staff could do to help students who are out on virtual learning?
I think they could make alternate assignments that students who are in virtual learning can do that is a little more simpler than what we do in class so that they're not as stressed out.
Do you believe that going virtual while being out of school will help keep COVID cases low while keeping students active in school?
I believe that it will help keep COVID cases low, but I don't think that students will stay active if we go to virtual learning full time.
And do you feel safe coming back to school?
I feel safe sometimes, but in other times I don't feel safe.
Thank you so much, Avery. It was a pleasure to have you. We're here with Anastasia Groth. Anastasia, you were recently working from home. How did that go for you?
It went well. It was still a struggle for me, though.
Did you get any work done while you were at home, or did you use it more as like a personal vacation?
It was a mix of both, but I got a lot of my work done.
What would you say was the hardest part about quarantine for you?
Keeping myself on track. It was a very struggle with time management and that.
Do you prefer being virtual or do you prefer in-person classes?
I prefer being in person. I'm very hands-on and that.
And what was your biggest stressor while being out?
not being around people, being stuck at home constantly.
What could teachers and other Lex2 staff members do that help students who are out on virtual learning or quarantine?
Give more directions with what they're teaching, do videos of them teaching, or more instructions on the lesson.
And do you believe that being virtual while quarantine is going to help keep COVID cases down while keeping students active in school?
It might not keep them active in school, but it will help COVID cases come down so that everything can get better.
And finally, do you feel safe in school?
Most of the time, I do.
All right, thank you so much, Anastasia. It was a pleasure to have you. As you can see, each student has their own opinions and perspectives about working from home. Thank you to all the students who have spoken with Lex2be today. This has been Erin with Lex2be News.
Hello, I'm Heidi Daniel with Lex2be News, and today we're taking a look at how social media affects students.
To start us off, what's your name and grade?
My name is Kelby Kenner, and I'm in the 10th grade.
My name is Veronica Wettergreen, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jonas, I'm in the 11th grade.
How long have you been using social media?
I have been using social media since the 6th grade.
I've been using social media for about 4 years now.
4 years.
So, Kelby, how has social media affected your personal life?
I feel like social media has personally affected me in a good way, being able to connect with my family and express my talent over social media.
I care a lot what other people think. I like to take what people say and use it in my daily life.
I've been able to make friends and communicate a lot easier than when I didn't use it.
What are some positives of it?
I feel that some positives of social media, it can allow people to connect with each other more and express their talent over social media.
Some positives are you get to see friends and family and people you don't usually talk to and people from around the world. You get to see what it's like there.
Obviously, you can communicate with your friends a lot easier, and you can see other parts of the world that you haven't seen before. They're your house.
What are some negatives of it?
I feel like the biggest negative of social media is cyberbullying.
Some negatives are a lot of cyberbullying and harassment. There's always going to be those no matter who you are.
There's bad people on the internet all the time that will just make you feel down, make threats.
What changes in yourself have you noticed from using social media?
I feel like changes that I've seen in myself is I can express myself more, I can talk to people more, connect with people more, and give a good word or news every once in a while.
My style. I've changed my style quite a bit. I put my own little twist on it, but I take inspiration from what I find on social media, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Overall, do you think social media benefits you?
I personally feel like social media does benefit me. It allows me to express my talent, my creations, my mind,
I do, in a way, I do.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's see what Christia Spears-Brown has to say on the subject in her article, Instagram is bad for teens and Facebook knew it despite claiming otherwise. Teens are more likely to log onto Instagram than any other social media site. It is a ubiquitous part of adolescent life. Yet studies consistently show that the more often teens use Instagram, the worse their overall well-being, self-esteem, life satisfaction, mood, and body image. One study found that the more college students used Instagram on any given day, the worse their mood and life satisfaction was that day.
I'm Heidi Daniel with Lex2be News, and this has been a look at how social media affects students.
Hi, I'm Veronica reporting with Lex2be News. Today I'll be going around interviewing parents on how they feel about their kids going to school during COVID. I'm here with Miss Dennis, and her kids go to Casey Elementary. How are you feeling with your child going to school during COVID?
I think it's fine. My kids really enjoy being at school. They learn well virtual, but I need them to have that personal interaction with kids and be able to learn and have hands-on fun with their friends and their teacher.
I'm here with Ms. Stewart. What are you feeling on the mask requirements?
The mask requirements, I feel like that they help a lot, especially being a healthcare worker, because I am a nurse by trade. I do feel as though they help a lot with keeping down COVID, but people don't wear them properly, so I feel as though that's what causes our numbers to rise. And the students often attend what I like to call spreader events because of the fact that they go and they hang out with their friends and they're in a mass setting. And I feel as though they don't have their mask on, and those are like on the weekends, and that's what contributes to the increase in the cases.
Today I'm joined here with my mother. Do you think children should go back to virtual learning?
No. That was awful. Virtual learning is rough not only for children, but for their parents, because it's been a hot minute since most of us have learned all this stuff. So, no, virtual learning, I don't think they should go back to.
Interesting. Do you think children under 12 should be vaccinated?
No.
How has learning been different since COVID? I don't think it's been completely different now that we're back in the classrooms. I think it's a little bit harder for teachers to be able to communicate with their students because of the mask. We've got to make sure they can all hear us. And I think maybe kids are a little bit more, they could be a little more nervous with being around friends, but I don't think it's really impacted too much of their learning if they're in the classroom.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis, for letting us interview you. I'm Veronica Wettergreen. Thank you for joining us today on Lex2be.